Welcome to News with a View, hosted by me, John A. Costa. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. This is episode 11. For any of you who are joining me, this is going to be a short show between 15 and 20 minutes, maybe even a little bit less. And again, as I stated, this is a recorded show going up automatically on schedule by YouTube at 12 noon on Tuesday. I've had to take some time off for personal reasons and probably will have a show on Saturday of next week. Sorry, that's just the way it is, but I will be doing a couple of these little quick shows and have them automatically on schedule. I did one yesterday. I'm doing one for Tuesday, and these are all being done on Sunday. And so I'm grabbing news and projecting forward. Today, I'm going to discuss the folly of the Democrats who are again screaming for Trump to be impeached. Guys, you have not done anything in years. And this is what you're going to do. You haven't even figured out a health care bill yet, and that's running out. Not a word. All talk about everything else that's going on except what you should be doing for the people in your districts. Now, anyone who thinks that that is a good way to go, you have to be kidding me. I'm so tired of the Democrats. Honestly, I am just so tired of the nonsense of the Democratic Party, the nonsense of Jeffries, than more than nonsense of Schumer, and most of these other blabbermouths that bring nothing to the table. You go after Trump. We know you hate Trump. We get it. We get it. But the American people voted in Trump to do a job over 4 years, following the Constitution, which he's doing, and you, Democrats, are trying to stop him from doing what the American people voted for him to do. Now, there's Democrats who are saying, we don't think this is a good idea. Maybe do it after the midterms. If we win the midterms, great. But if we start doing this now, it's just going to be pointing everything at us. And that everything is all the jobs you have not been doing. And let's talk about the fraud. Can we talk about the fraud? And there are so many Democrats who are afraid of this investigation. And I'm sure there are plenty of Republicans that are just as afraid of the investigation that's coming. Trump has come out now and made a comment that I really wish he wouldn't. And I've said before on this show, on my podcast, when I think the Republicans aren't doing something that's right, I'm going to say it. Trump had come out and said, if you're a Republican, don't stand with me or go against me, boom, boom. You know, in essence, you're dead to me and I'm gonna get you. We're coming after you. I don't think that's a good thing to do. I don't think doing that is a wise move. I would, if I was the president, I'd come out and say something much more like, hey, if there are Republicans that are not seeing what I'm seeing, then there's something wrong with those people. And I'd like for them to come forward and ask me why I'm doing what I'm doing so I can tell them and show them. I've tried, but maybe they need some remedial help to get them on board. And yeah, if I was Trump, I'd go, yeah, I'm doing some very unpleasant things. Because like a tooth, if you don't take care of it, it hurts and it pains you. And then the real pain is I got to pull the tooth out because it's no longer repairable. I can't repair it anymore. And yeah, that's really bad pain, and now you're left with a hole and it looks terrible. Whereas before, if you drilled it, if you repaired it, you'd have a tooth left and not a gap. But the Democrats refused to drill the tooth. They didn't care about the tooth. And these are the examples I would be making. That besides the immigration fiasco at our borders that were, denied, we're not having a border crisis. What border crisis? Well, yeah, okay. Well, it's not a border crisis if I just let everyone through, all the flights that these illegals were put on and plopped all over this country. What about that? The heat must be turned up on the Democrats. I mean, to the point of where, people are out in the streets. And the proof must be put out there. And the indictments must be put out there going against these people. And to show that the whole system was corrupt. That the whole platform was meant to steal money and to gaslight the American people. And that's what the Democrats have been doing. And yeah, I get it. President Trump says some things that he should not say, that are not politically in line with what he should be saying. I'm not saying politically correct. But his words, and he doesn't measure his words. But what he does say, it strikes the hammer on the head and the nail. It's there. And he's going to make it as simple so that people understand. And you go, well, that's the uneducated. All the Republicans are uneducated. Yeah. You think stealing $9 billion? Do you think that the amount of fraud going on in California, Colorado, Illinois, Wisconsin, Maine, those are our tax dollars. You don't need a college education to know what fraud is or what theft is. And there's a lot of very highly educated Republicans. And the Democrats that you see paid protesters, and they're asked a question and they don't know the answer. And when you tell them the answer, then they get all indignant. No, that's not true. Well, yeah, that's true. It's right there. Go look it up. Google it. Grok it. AI it. Look at it. It's amazing. And this has to be pointed out. And the Democrats need to be embarrassed. We're a very nice people, the Republicans. We go like, oh, I don't want to cause trouble. I don't want to call this guy, look, what he's saying is wrong. And no, they have to be embarrassed and told, you don't know what you're talking about or you're lying. Pick which one you want to go with here. Because here's the proof. Here's what you're saying. Did you not know that? So you were talking on something you didn't know about. Or did you know it and you're trying to lie to us? This is the confrontation that must be made to Democrats. And we should go to all their rallies, Democratic rallies, and ask those questions. And point things out. You're saying this, but isn't this is what was actually going on? How do you plan to address what is going on here? And what are your plans if you're elected to do that? And they have to be embarrassed. They have to be put on the spot. The problem is that for most of the media, they won't cover that. And the only ones that will end up covering that is someone like a Fox or Breitbart. And people go, there they go. There they go. Or look at Politico. Look, there they go. And NPR wouldn't cover it. I might say CNN might. CBS might, but who's watching CBS? Who's watching MS Now? Or MSN.com? Who's looking at that stuff? No one's looking at that stuff. Except, other leftists who go, yay, look, and then, half their articles are like, unnamed sources, people that aren't authorized to speak, or, reportedly, allegedly. That's all we hear from the left. And I wish we didn't. But then they wouldn't be the left. And when you have that's the, Fox, they're all to the right. Well, if the right is reporting the truth, then isn't that just plain news? Has nothing to do with right or left. Isn't that just the outright news? Bob in New York. So, the Democrats on a mission to try to impeach the president before the midterms is a horrible idea, fellas. Because what you will do is that you will galvanize the right. And you already have. People that voted for Trump are going to continue to vote for his agenda, and people that do not stick to his agenda won't get the vote, and they'll need those votes to go. And the money going into the GOP is huge. The money going into the DNC is nil. The money going into the progressive pockets, because they're going around colleges and doing it the smart way, dimes, quarters, and dollars add up quickly. So, all right. With that, I'm going to say good night, be safe, and I'll catch you later.